Okay, welcome. New Year's Day, January 1st, 2024. I'm here and you're not. Why not? I'm in my Fountain of Youth room. I got this is my little innovation. I hang up my computer. I have two computers and I hang it up. This computer is hanging up right above my bed. And what is interesting, it forces me to not use a pillow. And I'm trying to get the habit of not using a pillow. But today I'm going to talk about habits. Okay, and I know that a lot of people form a habit, or they get a New Year's resolution on the first day of January, and it's always kind of amazing to me because I almost guarantee that if you have a New Year's resolution, you're probably not going to do it. Okay, why is that? Because truthfully, in my opinion, that people that understand habits, routines, addictions, they're constantly trying to do these things every day of their life. I mean, it's a way of thinking that makes your life better, especially routines and habits. Okay. So this is going to be, I'm going to call this episode one, and I'm going to put it in the book that I'm writing about my travels, my 25 years of travels in 100 plus countries, kind of referencing using Henry David Thoreau as a guidebook. Okay, and it's the link to the database will be in all the descriptions on my website. First things first, though, I want you to realize who would I consider the biggest expert on habits on the planet? BJ Fogg. I'm going to try to move this camera so that I guess I got to move my body. I got that computer kind of looking right at you. Let's just let it sit there in the background. Okay, BJ Fogg is in Stanford University, and he wrote a book called Tiny Habits. And I will be referencing him all the way through this recorded video and on the live because BJ Fogg has done a superb job of explaining how habits happen. Okay, but one of the things he talks about is every habit that works, that is created, has something to do with emotions. There's an emotional connection between your habit and thing. So I'm going to tell you there's a fine line between a routine, an idiosyncrasy, habit, addiction, obsessive compulsion. In a lot of ways, everything, though, is contingent on emotions. If you don't have some emotional connection to it, it's really hard to do it. Like a lot of people are going to want to give up cigarettes, and they're emotionally enjoying the cigarette more than they enjoy the not smoking the cigarette. Okay, let's see if I can go through these. Okay, anger when you have it done. Okay, a lot of you are going to be really angry when you break a habit. Okay, like right now, in the morning, I wake up, and if I don't, my habit is to drink a cup of coffee, and it gives me a certain feeling. And if I don't have coffee in the coffee in the room, one reason why I use instant coffee is because it's extremely easy to do. Okay, I could not maintain a habit of brewed coffee and travel. Um, so habits are connections. They have something that you do without thinking normally. Okay, and everybody has habits. There's nobody without certain habits. Okay, and I got to remember to add the gobbledygook theory. But everybody has a habit. You wake up in the morning, you do certain things. You go to you know, the restroom. You take a shower. I really like it when people have the habit of taking a shower. A lot of expats do not have this habit. I sometimes think the reason why they shave their heads is so they don't have to shower because it's not obvious. If I don't shower, it's real obvious with my hair. Okay, but we can become very angry when our habits get broken or interrupted. In a way, an addiction is a habit, and many people ask me why I became addicted, and it's kind of the same thing. I drank too much too often. Okay, not really very complicated. It became a habit that every night in university and as I got out of university, we drank every single day. And I felt empty if I didn't have my drinking at night. A lot of you come home from work and drink some wine or beer or whatever, which is fine. But when the addiction, when it becomes an addiction, it's actually um, you almost can't live without it. Okay, so that's a habit taken to an extreme. Okay, but we have many habits, and I'm sure that if you do a review and if you wake up in the morning and you do something which like a routine. See, a routine is often a habit, but the routine makes you feel good. Okay, and that's what a habit does, is it makes you feel a certain way. If there's no feeling to it, it's very easy to break it in a way. Cigarettes has a definite feeling. I smoked cigarettes for almost 2 years, and it's extremely addictive drug. Okay, but the drug is gives you a feeling. One of my geology or geography teacher in university said the reason why people get addicted is when they like the feeling of being stoned or drunk or in some alternate reality better than they like the normal reality. Like right now, I've been sober for 37 years. I love the feeling of being sober. The idea of drinking sounds like to me, it's just suicide. But there's travel habits I have too. I have a habit. I had to develop some habits of travel because I have to have um, a habit of where do I put my keys. Everybody gives me different keys for a hotel, so I always put my keys in my secret pockets. I have a certain 3 places where I put my passport. I Every day when I wake up about 20 minutes after sunrise, anywhere on the planet, I go for a walk. It's a habit. It's something I do. I don't think about it. I just get up, I get dressed, I drink some coffee, I write a travel blog, I do some writing, I check my emails, and I go for a walk. And Henry David Thoreau wrote a really excellent essay, or he used to give a speech. I guess he called it a lecture on walking. It's really excellent. You can watch it on YouTube. But I walk at sunrise. Thing. But there's a reward to a habit. And there can be, but there's good habits and negative habits, and that's the problem. Okay, um, why is a troll a troll? They're in the habit of taking snarky remarks and telling people. They get a rush, an endorphin, dopamine rush, an emotional rush by being kind of mentally violent. So we got to think about the connection between our behavior and the the result. I mean, we do something to get an emotional rush. I love to enter um, border towns, like the border between Mexico and Guatemala. Why do I like? Where two cultures clash, and it's a no risk, no rush sensation. Okay, but many of you have habits like when the phone rings, you instantly go, the phone's ringing. Many people say, my sister, every time she answers the phone, she says, I'm busy. And I go, Candy, please don't answer the phone and say that. It's like saying Andy. It's such an insult when somebody says they're busy. Why? Because it says, I'm taking up your time and I'm wasting your time by calling, right? You're insulting me. So people that say that, they say, I've got too much in my plate. This is a habit, and what comes out of your mouth is who you become. What you let enter your brain is who you are. Okay, so if I let a troll into my world, I'm basically complicit in agreeing to be the thing. But all this is psychology, right? And there's a lot of things. There's a book also called Atomic Habits, which is a pretty recent book and maybe a little more trendy. So if you read Atomic Habits, but I highly, highly recommend you watch a lot of BJ Fogg. I think I have a playlist even under my on my channel about BJ Fogg and habits, because what he does is he's calling them tiny habits. And now what I'm almost always trying to do is I'm trying to connect one habit with another habit. So I pair them together. So when I drink coffee in the morning, I have to use my immersion heater, and it takes about, I don't know, about 3 minutes. And when I'm doing that, I have a list of things I'm supposed to do on the wall. And I normally do like 50 jumps. I just jump up and down 50 times. So it's becoming a habit. I'm standing there waiting. Oh, and I start to jump. It's kind of Pavlov's dogs, right? You're creating a condition. And once I jump up and down 50 times, I feel better because I got a lot of oxygen going to my brain and my lymph glands are going. I'm getting really good at really getting a great feeling by doing a lymph massage on myself every day too. But I consciously, continuously try to create habits. It never stops. I'm constantly trying to break negative habits like walking in the room and being hungry. Oh man, I have walked into a house, room, whatever, and ate potato chips or something. It's like this habit is so strong that it's very difficult to beat. But a habit is something you do daily, almost every single time thing. It's not really something you do off and on. It's I'll give it a habit that I had a habit of when I was in the United States for 20 years. I went to the gym every single day. Every day. I exercised absolutely every day. And about exactly the same time, like 5:30 in the afternoon. And I was completely addicted to going in there, getting the rush, looking at all the people jumping and walking on the treadmill. And I'd read my book while walking for 30, 40 minutes on the treadmill. I'd watch these girls doing aerobics. It was an enthusiastic thing. It was my happy hour. Some of you get off work and go to happy hour. Some of you get up in the morning and go drink coffee on every single day. And if you don't do it, you feel like something's missing. Okay, but I always know when a gym is a horrible gym, and most of the gyms abroad are horrible. They don't even stay open 7 days a week. If you want to be in the habit of exercise, so many of you are going to go to the gym. When I was in the gym, it was always fun to watch. All these people would start exercising on, January 2nd, 3rd. They would join, pay, and then they would try to come on like Monday, Thursday, and Fridays or something. It almost never works. These guys, the guys that work out in the gym regularly, come almost every single day at the exact same time. They're really just hardball. They do it every single day of the week. And I would love to be back into the habit of going to the gym every day. That's one of the things I really miss, the emotional high of going to the gym and being in a happy hour gym every single day. But it just don't work abroad because they're not even open every day. It's kind of funny. A bar, an addict. I asked John Freistoffer one time at Columbia Street West, why are you open every single day? He says, Andy, if a person needs a beer or a cocktail or a drink and you're closed, they will find a bar that is open every day and go there every day. So you have to service their addiction or habit or routine. Okay, and we're going to get these mixed up. An idiosyncrasy is like I do this, right? That's an idiosyncrasy of Andy Lee Graham. I also have a bad, I don't know, I guess maybe it's an idiosyncrasy, but I say basically this, basically that. I go, Andy, please, you're driving yourself crazy. Do not use that word basically. My nephew says, awesome, awesome, awesome. Some of you call everybody man or dude, okay? Highly disrespectful, okay? You cannot just label everybody and be polite. It's not good charisma. I will say that anybody that is interested, Charisma on Command is a very good website about how to have personality. And I believe that in every single university on the planet, they should be having two different things. Basically, I started to say it. They need to teach people how to have charisma and personality. And they also need to show and explain the difference, how to be logical by understanding the consequences of their behavior. when you don't understand consequences, what you do is you say things like defund the police. They don't understand that there's a correlation between crime and no police, right? They don't see the consequences of that decision. Anybody that says something like that, I just love it, because I have zero reason to talk to a person that's that incapable of being logical and rational. But the only way we really learn consequences and logic is by somebody giving us some negative feedback. But a coffee shop, businesses serve habits. Drive-through. There's people right now that have became in the habit of going through Starbucks and McDonald's for a coffee, and they no longer go into Starbucks, which is amazing because they're paying like, I don't know, say $7 for a coffee when they could go through drive-through and McDonald's for $1. Without the ambience of Starbucks, I'm not sure why you're going there. But they're in a habit because of COVID-19, right? There are people that are still wearing masks. They got in the habit, they won't stop. But it's also feeling. Remember, BJ Fogg says, do you connect a feeling to thing? When a person tries to give up cigarettes, okay, they have to give up a feeling. And so they got this hand-to-mouth thing, right? And they got, alcoholics got this connection. And so they need to, sometimes it would be good just to get something when you're giving up cigarettes. The best way, in my opinion, to give up a negative habit is to give something that you replace it. You don't really replace it. You don't really give up a habit. You or an addiction. You really replace it with something else. Okay, so when I gave up drinking, I replaced it by going to Alcoholics Anonymous. Okay, I went there every day. Okay, 90 days and 90 meetings. Okay, that's what. And I still go because my addiction, which is an addiction to a feeling, right? A feeling of shutting off the computer. That feeling is in remission. It's not gone. I still love the feeling of not feeling or getting blase, right? Right now we have people that are totally addicted, in the habit of talking on their smartphone. I walk into stores and they won't even stop because they are using that smartphone so much that without that buzz all day long of messaging, they feel weak. They can't even stop. When I'm talking now with the person that's got a habit of being on the smartphone and they're talking to me, I stop talking and I go do something else because their habit or their addiction to the smartphone, which is smartphones are addictive. So are social networks. I was fully aware of this when we were doing our social network on Hobo Traveler Everyday. Hobo no longer exists, and I'm very good, but the people had a habit or a routine where they get on there and they try to provoke people. And that's the problem with social networks is people get a brain buzz by being a troll. They get an emotional rush. Okay, talking on a smartphone is a habit. As a rule of thumb, to start a habit, they say you need 27 days. That means you have to somehow get an emotional rush 7 days, 27 days in a row. Some habits are just very difficult to start. That's the reason why BJ Fogg, connecting one habit with another habit, pairing it together. So when I get out of bed, when I leave the door, when I open the door, my hotel room, I go for a walk. And I serendipitously go anywhere I want to walk. It's just something I've done for 25 years and about 10 months. And it's part of what my life is. Okay, but if you do something for 27 days, so essentially if you give up cigarettes for 27 days, you're almost divorcing the feeling. Okay, but I highly recommend you find a way to put something in your mouth, okay? Some alternative, like, I don't know, like a toothpick. Like put a toothpick in your mouth. It's not going to get you fat. I don't want you to replace cigarettes with sugar because they're both addictive, okay? But you replace the cigarette with something. And also do something that is contrary to things. Like if you exercise and you do aerobic exercise, then you smoke a cigarette, these things fight against each other. You get addictions fighting each other. On the other side is if you have friends that are all smoking marijuana, pot, and doing these things and smoking cigarettes, uh, you become the people you hang around with. So it becomes very difficult to give up negative addictions when you're hanging around with it. Like a husband and wife, if they're both out drinking and one stops drinking, normally they get a divorce, okay? Because they fell in love with each other being addicts, right? If you tell yourself to do it, it's not a habit. Okay. If you have to tell yourself to do it, it's not a habit. It's something that you're trying to have willpower. And I have zero willpower to stop drinking. I stopped drinking by shifting my willpower to another person. Okay. What I would go to the group and they would give me the strength to stay sober. But every day I blog, every day. Uh, the worst habit I have is I get hungry the minute that I walk in the room. I really should never have any food in my room because that connection is like Pavlov's dog. The door closes, I'm hungry. It has nothing to do with hunger. It has almost everything to do with the habit or the correlation between walking through the door. Habits, routines, idiosyncrasies, um, behaviors are all related. And there's fortunately one of the greatest things about YouTube is that you can do a deep dive and do a search on habits or breaking a habit or starting a habit. One of the worst habits that I've ever seen is multitasking. People think that they must be doing two things at the same time. Very disrespectful. I learned that when I was selling real estate. I was typing on the computer. This guy, I was talking on the phone. The guy says, "Andy, you're not listening." I said, "Yes, I am." And I said, "No, you're not. You're typing on the computer." And this man is paying me to listen. Very insulting. I was insulting him. But we have habits that go into remission. And to get totally rid of a habit, you have to go like 37 years. I don't remember really the rush of getting drunk. I mean, I have to really really think about it. Okay, it's really hard for me to feel what it would be like to when I think. But to me, drinking was like suicide. So I think suicide more than I do drinking. Okay, but I became addicted because I drank too much too often. That's just it. But what's interesting, BJ Fogg, I was watching a video to kind of get in sync with what I'm doing today, and he says always connect the emotion. A repetition is not a habit. It's the connection to a feeling. So, say you want to go exercise, you might give yourself a rush. That when you go exercise, you go do something that is not like eating food. A lot of people go exercise, then they stuff that they feel like they can go eat. Okay, not a good connection, not a good habit. Um, but habits keep us safe. Habits of walking against the traffic, habits of things. There's things that subconsciously go on in our brain that tell us to do certain things to keep us safe. Um, there's all different ways we can do it, but I truly, most of you are not going to succeed at your New Year's resolution unless you do a deep dive into how a habit is formed. Like 27 days to 250 days, you have to do it every day. If you want to give up something or you want to start something, there's both ways. But again, I'm really big on you replace one habit with another habit. Negative ones. You want to the positive ones. You're going to have to really give a good feeling. Like I enjoy the feeling of doing my lymph massages because it makes my brain think clearer. I have a complete process of going through the body. What is that guy's name? Perry Nicholson. He's got 6 ways, 6 aspects of doing a lymph massage. But I also take a shower every day. I do different things. Habit is hard to stop. Start is hard to stop because, in a way, is contrary to what your brain wants to do. Your brain has a habit of not doing it, and suddenly you got to. So the way I start habits is I put signs up all around the room. I wonder if I got one. Oh yeah, I can rip this off and show you. I have this next to my bed, and it tells me certain things that I'm trying to get into the ritual or routine of doing. And I have one on the door. I have one in the shower. I have one in the bathroom. I got 6 of these signs. And they're just little triggers. A habit should have a trigger to it. I mean, wake up, you get out of bed, you go to the toilet. Wake up, get out of bed, you drink, you make some coffee. Wake up, get out of the bed, you complain about being awake. I mean, nothing worse than husband and wife getting up and complaining to each other that they have to be awake. That is not the habit that you want to have. But there are routines, idiosyncrasies. Idiosyncrasies are kind of a strange word, but it's like me going like that. That's one of my idiosyncrasies. Obsessive compulsive. Some people have become obsessive compulsive with this alcohol that they put on their hands because of COVID-19. It's become every single time. This is a chemical. You can't drink it. You put it on your body. It goes in through your skin. It's called transdermal or dermal absorption. You do not want to put alcohol on your hands 20 times a day. If you can't eat it, don't put it on your body. To start a habit, you got to believe in the habit. Okay, this is why smokers have trouble. They love the feeling, and they actually think smoking's okay. If you emotionally, morally, mentally, physically believe that smoking is not okay, it was pretty easy when I gave up smoking because it really hurt me to pull the thing on. I started smoking because my girlfriend, I took a buzz. I was taking a puff off her cigarette. Oh man, this is one of the most addictive chemicals on the planet. Then next thing I'm doing, I'm craving, I'm thinking, I'm craving, I'm thinking. So that's kind of a different than just a habit. It's also a craving. It's a chemical addiction. But you have to believe that what your habit you're forming is a good idea. So in a way, you can do a deep dive on YouTube and watch videos on the new habit you're trying to do. That's a way, just get a rush. And sometimes I like to pair music with any kind of exercise I do. Gives me a feeling, I'm watching, Jody Messina, Heads Carolina, I'm turning on Jump by Van Halen. I'm watching, Back in the USSR by the Beatles, and it gives me a rush. It gives me a memory. It gives me an association. It makes me feel good. But paired habits. That's an easier way to start a habit is if you connect it to another habit. So you get up in the morning, you drink coffee, you connect something to it. You walk in the bathroom, and the minute you walk in the bathroom, you can do certain habits, right? You can connect it to things that you do daily. I really totally believe that anybody that tries to do something like Monday, Wednesday, and Thursdays, or Monday, Tuesday, they're gonna working out for sure. Exercise, in my opinion, the people that exercise and I've seen doing it, they did it every day of the week. There's a book called Atomic Habits, Routines. Showing up on time. It's a very good habit if you want to have friends. Why? Because I know a lot of you believe that showing up late on time is a good habit. Like socially late to a party is probably okay. Great idea. Showing up late to a friend's thing is telling your friend that you have the habit of, say you got a friend that shows up all the time and you show up late. What you're telling that friend is that you don't care about them, okay? It's not conscientious. It's not polite. What you're saying is you're willing to wait. You have a habit of wasting people's time. What a horrible habit. Right now, there's girls and men walking around right now in Lake Atalan that have the habit of looking away and grimacing every time they see somebody. This has got to be the worst. I have a habit of saying, hola, ¿cómo estás? To everybody. And I actively try to do it to everybody, even those people I try to get in the habit of always smiling and saying hi and giving a nod of the head. This black guy came into Joanna's yesterday, and he nodded the head. I was laughing because this was a very powerful man. Um, Weak people don't make eye contact. Strong people check out the situation. I'm going to make a video pretty soon about the dominance hierarchy. Okay, dominance hierarchy is how we dominate the situation. When two alpha males meet, what happens? When you I'm realizing that if I don't do a dominance hierarchy with the dogs down the street, they don't attack me. It's kind of funny. I'm constantly doing experiments. Okay, I'm here and you're not. Why not? Why do I make a video every day? It's who I am. I are one. My friend Walt Werner he's now dead. He used to say, I are one. I said, we would be driving in his van. The guy had like, I don't know, 20 houses paid for, free and clear. He had more money than God, right? And we'd be driving down the road and he'd see a bunch of, like old screens and stuff and windows sitting alongside the road. And we'd have to stop, pick them up. I said, well, you don't have to do this anymore. But he would say, but this is who I are. This is who I are. Who am I? Who is Andy? Who are I? I'm a guy that blogs every day. I've done it for 15 days. One way or the other, I don't feel complete. So it's kind of an emotional rush. So don't get really picky on these terms, but do it every day. Whatever you want to do it every day. I beg of you, please do whatever habit you want, especially if you're going to exercise. But if you think that you can have an exception to the habit, like when you're giving up cigarettes and you're going to have just one, it don't work that way. Try to find something like toothpicks, something to put in your mouth, and have it with you all the time. And because you got to get that rush of sticking something in your mouth. Anybody that would ever want to, I do know that giving up, I have some consulting I'm doing, and I do know that there's people that are incredibly wealthy, incredibly rich, incredibly powerful that need some help breaking their addiction to drinking alcohol or drugs or things. I am available for consultation on this. I charge $50 an hour for that. And at the end of the day, I'm going to try to get you to go to one of these self-help groups. The problem is some of you are cannot do it. You really need a daily almost conference with somebody on all the different ways to break this addiction other than going to like an AA meeting or Narcotics Anonymous, how to do it. And you need somebody that's smart as you to deal with your brain. Okay, I'm Andy Lee Graham. I'm here and you're not. Why not? Hit that. I don't have the habit. Hit that subscribe button. But I have a Patreon link with anybody that would love me to continue to do these daily. You can join now on YouTube, and there's a join thing next to the button, and it's $5 a month. And I'm going to prioritize and get in the habit of only answering people that use their real name. And I have to not just I got to control my world. It's not control. It's basically making the optimized living. And that's what the goal. The prime directive of travel is to enjoy yourself. But the prime directive of life is to spend, in my opinion, with people that you like and make you feel stronger. When you're around anybody that makes you feel weaker, give them the boot. Erase them from your life. There are people that are addicted to the rush of arguing. Okay. Addictions, idiosyncrasies, routines, these are all related. But do a deep dive on YouTube. And there's plenty of videos trying to explain. Most of the videos don't really understand how to break an addiction. I'm really sad on that because there's a lot of reasons for that. But the people that are in these groups are not supposed to be talking about it. They got some traditions that I'm violating right now. But I realize that when there's reasons to break certain traditions, rules, regulations. Some people have to break every single rule. That is a routine of theirs. That is a terrible twos. That is who they are. They cannot obey a rule. Think about it. Did you always disobey your father? Is that kind of a habit? Some of you are addicted to it. Okay, life is good.